Yo, what is going on, guys? Today's episode 34 of many. We are recording on Friday, June 20th here, about 10 a.m. Got Chase hanging out with me today. We've got G in the producer chair. We're trying to do a little bit of recording stuff today, so we'll see how that goes. I think we're going to record today to try to use some short form content potentially and just kind of get in the practice of talking with the camera as well. So, Chase, what do you got going on? What's happening in Chase's world? What's happening?
I've got, on the personal side, I've got bachelor parties here the next 2 weekends. So my sister's getting married in about a month. So my brother-in-law's will be next weekend. And that being said, I have another buddy about more so my age. He's getting married actually the same day as my sister, but his is this Saturday. So tomorrow here. So tear that up here the next 2 weekends and have a good time with it and enjoy the time with the guys there.
Fair enough. And you got a day off of work coming up because of that too, huh?
I do.
That's not
It's beautiful.
not very common.
No, I think I threw it out there in their meeting. God willing, hell or high water. We'll get off that Friday for next week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's cool stuff. And you have to travel for the bachelor parties, or?
the one will be more local. We'll travel around here more so. We're gonna go paintball in Waika, and then we'll stick around here. Like we'll be out by the lake and just kind of enjoy the day. But then for my brother-in-law, that'll be up by Green Bay. There will be Airbnb that way. So golfing, grilling out, everything along those lines. So should be two different experiences, but fun nonetheless.
Cool. Good stuff. What's happening with your BFS stuff? How's that going?
Good. You're getting to, it's kind of crazy. I mean, you said just in the intro, it's June 20th. Like you're already about a third of the way through summer. And obviously you've got, if you're a family, you want to take vacations, now's the time to do so. I mean, you're going to have, if you have kids in sports, you're going to start up in August here. So you're kind of competing with that, obviously. So you have kids that are gone for a week and you don't know why, and you think they just completely dropped off. They come back next week, you're like, oh, okay, we're in a good spot there. So just trying to keep everyone encouraged, put good vibes out there for everybody. Obviously, the kids that are showing up are your leaders at the end of the day, whether they're captains or just lead by example. Just trying to instill the idea within them, like, hey, like you guys are doing great, but you can only go as far as the rest of the team. So keep getting them here, because if you really look at it, it's like you have your starters, like your really quality players that are going to be on the floor the entire time. You obviously have kids that might be freshmen or just they're more developmental. It's their first year doing sports. Then you almost have like in between, like your starters, your rotational guys. It's a lot of those kids that you really have to get bought into the system to even attract maybe this bottom end if you don't have those kids currently at the program. So I always think that like that middle ground is it's the same thing with business or marketing. Like the middle ground, like the kind of wishy-washy area, I feel like is the most important to kind of break through to and convert over.
Fair enough. How and those sessions are 6, 7, and 8?
Yeah, so earliest sessions at 6. I'll usually get there around like 5 just to get everything like set up and basically ready, so I feel good and just like it can run super smoothly. But 6, 7, 8, some people run over a little bit. Some people obviously finish just before the hour. Most of those workouts are generally running perfectly at the hour, if not a little bit over. But it's broken up a little bit. It's not like you have full body every day or you're maxing out every day or doing super heavy weights every day. Some days are a little bit more agility focused. Some days are a little bit more strength focused. There's one day we do conditioning in there just because I think it's important nonetheless. Like you'll have coaches that debate one way or another if if conditioning is important outside the season. But I feel like you're most conditioned at the end, obviously, because you have 3 months of practice under your belt. And once you get to that point, you're in the best condition possible. It's like you finally get to the end, you're like, oh, I can actually hold up the whole game, like the top performance. But if you do that for the 9 months outside of the season, I feel like you can actually come in August or September and actually be ready to be just that much better than everyone else because you can perform at a high level. But
do you do conditioning like the same day every week?
No,
because I feel like if you do that, then the kids are going to kind of catch on and be like, Wednesdays, I'm just going to maybe sleep in.
So I told them the first week, I'm like, it's not going to be the same day every week. Like it'll be different. It was on Tuesday again, just for the sake of like, so then again, it's random for that matter. So next week could be Thursday. It could be Wednesday. I wouldn't want to hit them like back to back with like a Friday, Monday. So like there's some insight.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, you always have adequate rest between it. And that's almost like more of a track style practice. Like, can you perform well in like short distance? Can you perform well at long distance? Like obviously not every position for every sport has the same demands or the same needs. Like some sports you only got to run for 5 seconds, and some sports you run 3 miles for that matter. So you got to obviously like appeal to everyone's needs and find a way to balance it all with athletes that are all in different sports. But everyone benefits from it. So it's not like, oh, this is only for football players or, oh, this is only for track athletes. So
Sure.
it's a little bit for everybody.
You do core every day too, or no?
Yeah. At the end of the workouts, again, it's not strictly like, how can I build 6-pack abs? It's more functional, especially for an athlete. Like, I feel like strong core and coordination is huge. So can you stabilize yourself, especially when you're doing compound lifts? Like if you're squatting or deadlifting, like strong lower back and a strong obliques. Even if you're looking at like your deeper abdominals, like transverse abdominis, I feel like that's huge. So it's not necessarily like super heavy crunches, super heavy leg raises. It's more like there's some isometrics. There's some dynamic stuff we'll do as well from the floor, standing for that matter as well. So there's a little bit of everything.
Sure.
Training athletes is just so much more. I say it's more complex than like bodybuilding. I think it's just within reason. Like there's so many. Yes, you need to build muscle, but it's like you have to get stronger. You got to be more explosive.
Yeah.
You got to have speed. You have to have
Stabilizing
like
and stuff. Yeah.
stability in all your joints. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. Yeah. While we're saying that too, just so everybody knows, one thing that I've recently added into my routine is kind of like an ab focus, like every day. So me and G actually, we do a 5-minute warm up of abs every morning. So every time we do our workout routine. So we actually start with like 5 minutes of sit-ups or decline sit-ups. At the end of our workout, if we have time, we try to do more ab stuff. But I've come to notice like usually your ab stuff you put off to the end, and then all of a sudden you're maybe tight for time. You got to go run for this or that, or you're just drained from your workout. So those of you listening who maybe don't focus on abs, I think it's very important for longevity. I think your core strength is like one of the most important probably things that you can keep as far as aging. You know, your leg strength. I mean, every strength is important. Don't get me wrong, but core strength. I mean, core is part of everything. So I think the core is very important to keep strong and keep in shape. So keep that in mind. Maybe start using your core routine as like a 5 to 10 minute warm up before you start lifting. It's good to get the whole body warmed up and get going, and then you get it out of the way. So just something to consider there. But let's go into, I've got a couple things that I want to talk about that I've been working on, that I've been kind of super pumped about, and then we'll kind of dive into more conversation. But yesterday or 2 days ago, I think Nolan, and again, we're recording this on Friday the 20th, so you're going to be hearing this on Tuesday of whatever day of June that
24th?
is.
Yeah, 24th.
We had Nolan do some research. And so for Priority Fitness, we always have had problems with inventorying gym equipment because all of a sudden we install 30 new pieces and we get like 30 random pieces out. And then it's just like a conglomerate of equipment and it gets buried. And then it's like, well, where did this come from? How much should we pay for it? Let's just say we pay $5,000 to the club to buy out their old stuff. Then we kind of have to assume pricing for each individual unit. Like, hey, 5K divided by 50 units, right? It's $100 a piece roughly. So we've never really done a good job with inventorying and like associating prices as far as our cost goes with it. I know generally in my head, like kind of what something costs versus what we can sell for it. So it's all in my brain, but I do a bad job of making sure my guys know what that is. So we've always tried like Google spreadsheets or, whatever. And at the end of the year also, I'll add this, our bookkeeper always needs to know what our end of year inventory is for the books purposes, right? How much cost we have in our inventory versus what we sold over the year. So anyways, we gave Nolan kind of a side task. I'm like, dude, all we need is an app like this that can do this and this and this, and something like this would be great. And he goes, I think I found something that works. So anyways, we started using this app like 2-3 days ago. It's phenomenal. I mean, for everything that we've needed to do so far, we've got workspaces, basically what they're called. So we've got like our red granite inventory. Then we've got like Montello inventory. We're going to have our Watoma lower warehouse. I mean, mind you, for those that are listening, Montello and Watoma storages are like future equipment that we're keeping for future locations or backup equipment if we need to swap something in or out. So very rarely do we sell from that, but very rarely, like very often we need to know what we've got so we can take it to another gym. So now we're creating these workspaces within this app. And so we've got our red granite inventory, Montello, Watoma. We're also going to use this for our gyms, which would be awesome for work orders and repairs and stuff, or just knowing like what each gym has. So we'll have like Watoma gym, Berlin gym, Oshkosh gym, blah, blah, blah. We'll have pictures of the equipment. We'll have the serial number picture on there as well. And it'll be broken out per unit. It'll be foldered by cardio, maybe by cardio treadmill, cardio elliptical, right? So it's just really cool. I've been super excited about it because it's been such like a headache. But the biggest benefit is now when we get new product in from a club, we can take pictures of that stuff while on site. We can upload the picture. We can put exactly what we paid for it and exactly what we're going to sell it for. I can actually give access to all of our guys. They can all get the app. They can all have access to it. And now at any point, they're selling stuff on Marketplace or whatever. They can be like, let me check my inventory for you. They can just go to the app and it'll just be like way more clean cut. Google Sheets is great, but it's like, well, then you have to attach a link for a picture or like, you just start and then you start building out sheets and you add way too much information that you probably don't need half the stuff. So
you don't want it all at once. Like the app, you're saying it goes window to interface. Like you could, like you said, you can categorize by it. I'm thinking like on the gym side too, like you said, for repairs. If you have treadmills, and granted, everything we have is matrix, but say you have like different pec flies at different locations. Like one place has flex, one place has magnum, one place has matrix. Like how do you know what pieces or what cables to order? So I can appreciate it even from my position. Yeah.
Yeah. The more we build it out too, like the more complex we go, like especially for our gyms, a lot of the equipment that I put in our gyms, like we're keeping it. And a lot of the older stuff doesn't necessarily have a serial number on it, or we don't necessarily need the serial to find the correct part. But we can upload a picture of the unit and then upload a picture of the serial number. In the description, we could put the last time we serviced it or the last repair that we did to it. So for treadmill's sake, did a belt and deck on 1/1/25 or whatever. So it's just super cool how far we could build it out and how like it's going to take some time because obviously we have the catch up game to play. But yesterday I was talking to Nolan about it, and I don't know if anybody else gets this, but when you get like really excited about something, you start talking really fast, kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm just like, it really gets me going, and I'm just really excited about it. So that's kind of like a big win for us, and I'm excited for it. The gyms aspect is going to help too. And now you've got like a gym staff just working saying, hey, treadmill 3 is not working right. It's like we can just go to our portfolio and see what treadmill 3 is and what the serial number is. I don't have to try to ask Chase to bend over and go get all dusty and incline the treadmill and find the serial number underneath the unit, which you would have to do. We can just, this is exact console serial, base serial, So it'll all just be right there as we build that out. So super cool. And oftentimes I forget what I've got in my keeper storage, like Watoma, Montello. I don't know what it is. And also this will hold all the values too. So like we can see how much equipment we have in storage, like what the value of that is. And the bank sometimes needs that information. So if we want to get a line of credit or we want to get a loan or pull out some equity, sometimes showing them what we have in inventory and how much it's worth will also help us get a loan approved because they're like, I see you've got $200,000 worth of new used product, right?
You've got legit collateral.
Yeah, exactly. So the collateral aspect. So anyways, super pumped about that. It's just a cool add-on. Nolan did a great job with that. So Nolan, if you listen to this episode, kudos to you. But anyways, let's dive into some conversation. Let's see what we got for time. We've got about 15 minutes or so until you got to take off, probably.
What time we got?
10:10?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. So let's talk, what do you got for health and nutrition? What do you want to throw out there today? I know we've been talking a lot about creatine. At least I have been. I know we had one good episode on it, and I keep saying it again, if you haven't been listening, take creatine. Consider taking creatine. Make sure your water intake's up if you're going to take creatine, but it's good for brain fog and muscle building and water retention, all the stuff that your body needs. So do your own research. It's important.
I guess I'd be curious your side. You might not have a lot to say about it. Maybe you do. I'm just curious. So you are on carnivore. Obviously, it's, like you said, it's all protein and fat, and then you get maybe a couple of carbs, say, from like an element packet. With that, and because I know you're doing like, say, if anyone follows you on Snapchat, they see you have like prebiotics, probiotics, everything for gut health. With your diet, obviously not having any carbs in it, fiber-wise, like digestive-wise, is there any like input or insight you have on that, just generally speaking? Or
fiber is not needed.
Okay.
In the fiber, I think fiber is kind of one of those things that like, kind of like the food pyramid, like we've created like you need to have fiber in order to increase digestive, function. If you really research fiber and what it does, I mean, it really just, it's not like it's a laxative. It just makes it like a harder stool, right? Like it's to harden it. And to make you, I don't know. I haven't researched it a ton. In the carnivore book that I'm reading right now, it does talk about fiber, but basically it's one of those things that I believe fiber to be like with all the shit that we eat, all the crappy foods and everything else, like the processed foods, like
moves carcinogens through.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just think that's another one of those things where we kind of got carried away and said fiber is very important. I'll try to read a little bit more on the fiber aspect from that book, or maybe I'll have you read it because you'll probably be smarter than I am and you'll like understand exactly what it's saying. Because I've read it, but I don't want to necessarily misspeak. I don't believe that you need fiber. I I don't have any fiber in my system. I go to the bathroom just fine. Like I don't have any problems. So I think a lot of people are actually, when I tell people carnivore and I don't eat fiber and I don't eat carbs and I just eat protein and moderate fats, that's also one of the main concerns. It's like, well, do you go, to the bathroom? I'm like, well, I do go. Like I have no problems. Like everything's fine and it works just fine. So, um, I'll get you to read the couple pages of the fiber aspect because I want you to be able to explain to the audience what it says, and you probably have a better photographic memory than I to not misspeak on it. But yeah, I don't know. People are probably gonna not believe me on that one, but
So I guess because you're big on gut health, obviously. So do you normally like lean on the pre and the probiotics?
the reason that I do pre and probiotics is because if I drink beer on the weekend, it screws up your gut health that bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to be more proactive about it. Like I believe on the carnivore diet and just eating clean, and if I did not drink any alcohol at all, that I would not have to worry about it. Like my gut health would be pretty good. Not that you can't every now and then do like a 30-day cleanse or like a 30-day probiotic challenge. Those are things too. I think a lot of those challenges are to get you to buy product, right? Just to buy supplements. Oh, do a cleanse for yourself and take care of yourself. But I take the prebiotic and probiotic throughout the week to keep my gut health in check because when you drink alcohol, it absolutely destroys your gut health. It's horrible for it. And I know it's horrible for it. It's just, you got to have your vices too. You have to make your decisions on what you want to do. So I try to, I only currently trying to only allow myself to drink one night a week if I decide I want to do that. So that would be like my Saturday nights as of recently, like the last month or so. So Fridays I go to bed normally. I work out in the morning, and then Saturday nights I can drink, and then Sunday is kind of like my off day anyways. That's why I kind of planned it out that way. So I do take prebiotics and probiotics. I actually ran out of one recently, so I've just been taking like my probiotic mix thing or whatever. But if you do drink alcohol, it's bad for your gut health. So I strongly recommend thinking about your gut health. There's what's the soda that I drink or that I was drinking, the Poppies?
That's why I was curious. Are you big on like, say, I know like you've mentioned before, you're big on if you can just buy the strictly whatever substrate or whatever you're looking for specifically, like just take that because that's all you're really going for. Would you recommend for everybody, whether they're super strict or super loose or lax with it, would you recommend that they take like Poppies or what is the other one I'm thinking of?
Olipop or?
Yeah, Olipop. That's the one I'm thinking of.
I mean, I think the Poppies and the Olipops of the world, like it's another soda. It is good. It tastes good. It's a good replacement for soda. It's got some maybe good things for gut health. I don't really drink them anymore. I mean, I haven't had one in a couple months. I was big on them, like especially right after drinking or the day after, just because I was thinking maybe it would help the gut health right away. I mean, I think the prebiotic and probiotic pills are probably the best way to go. Having a good diet is obviously the first thing to do. Supplements are just supplements. They're there to add a little bit of extra help. But the Poppies, the Olipops of the world, I think they're a good alternative to drinking soda or other flavored drinks. But at the end of the day, they still have sugar. Like they still taste magnificent somehow, right? So I still think there's probably things in there that aren't the best, but it is what it is. You got to have your vices. You got to figure out what works for you. I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of the stuff. You just got to figure out what's best in your flow. I mean, I was just talking to G today too. I like to listen to Andy Frisella, and his podcast. And of course, he just released like his new energy drinks, Form energy drinks or something they're called. And just hearing him talk about how great it is. He doesn't do ads, but then like it's really funny because his most recent ones, he's like, you could hear it crack in the back, and then he's drinking it. And he's like, it's just fantastic. Like I do want to drink those things that have that flavor and that bubbles. I just drink flavored water every day. I drink 200 ounces of flavored water every day, which is still good. But there's something about that like energy drink or that canned drink that even that mental aspect is like chewing gum and your mouth wants something to do. So having that flavored, but I haven't had caffeine for 3 months or so now. Like I don't drink. The only thing I drink out of a can is basically Busch Light, right? Like, or whatever alcohol I'm drinking, but it's typically Busch Light. So that's like my only vice, and I'm trying to stay strict. But you got to live too. I'm just trying to say there's like give and take. I would love to have like an energy drink or even just something kind of bubbly, flavorful, but that's just not where I'm at right now. So I was just, what I'm saying is, I don't know if at some point, when do you break the habit? It's like, oh, I've gone 3 months, 6 months. It's like going sober, right? I've been sober for 3 years, 5 years, people who were maybe too much on alcohol. It's like, at what point do you say, I beat it and now I can have like one, right? Like I'm saying caffeine wise, if I beat it, am I allowed to have coffee here in like a year? Like, should I? I have no idea. I don't want to from like I haven't had caffeine in so long, but what about those coffee business meetings that I have to go to? And you am I just going to say, I'll take a water? Like, that's just kind of strange too,
I don't know. Like, I think you could probably extend that conversation beyond even just like the health side. It's like anything for that matter. It's one of those things. Just like, I think there's still probably recurring benefits that come from it, but caffeine wise, like you said, eventually it'll leave your system. Like same with alcohol, eventually it'll leave your system. But like the small marginal effects, obviously, like that, like almost, it's like butterfly effect, right? Like maybe because you drank that beer, like then you had a bad workout. And
Yeah.
like you might just not progress as fast, but you might not also decline as fast in other situations. Like you might have a great workout, which makes, I mean, it's like a yin yang thing. Like it's just balance everything. Like because you had that caffeine or pre-workout, you might have had a great workout.
Yeah.
But now, like, say other like sleep systems are shot or whatever the case is. So I think on the social side, like you were saying, as far as like sobriety chips or the caffeine side, like you can say like, oh, I've gone a year without caffeine or I've gone a year carnivore. I think that's to each their own. Like, I guess how much you care really is what it is.
Yeah. Well, everybody's going to die. Everybody's going to, your own age. I could still live to 105 and have been doing all these bad habits. It's just like, you don't know, right? So that's why I'm saying too, you got to have pick your vices, pick what works for you. Like change one thing that can make you healthier. I'm not saying you have to like never eat a Dorito again, right? And I'm saying this from a standpoint of all the stuff that I talk about on this podcast. 1% better, be the best you. I want you to understand processed foods are horrible and the way that America allows those big companies to market it to us is horrible. But, I'm not saying you can never have a Dorito again or a Tostito or queso chips or cheese or whatever you want, but
probably best way I'm thinking right now that you could phrase would be you say 1% better, you stay as strict during the week as you do. So that way you can enjoy those things
exactly
like, in moderation. And it's like, how can I have the most good times for the longest time possible? So if that takes moderation, if it's like if someone only drinks once a month, but you really enjoy that one time, but it's not a vice that like overrules you. Same thing like exercise wise, like you don't have to go to the gym 6 days a week, but enough that you can extend your life, still enjoy your life. Like again, it's the balance of things.
I try to give myself like a reason why.
It's just like, do you enjoy yourself? Like you don't have to be like, oh, I can't never have caffeine again because it's bad for me. It's like, but if it's enough that you can enjoy your life, you're not just like going through hell every day of like, I'm just dead tired and I have like no energy. Like it's like, you have to make that trade-off. It's like, do I get more benefit or like utility out of this by doing this thing? Like in the big picture of things though, it's like, just because you're tired every day, don't slam an energy drink every day. Like figure out your sleep schedule, get a better quality of life, all that. But.
Yeah. And so like the way that I've gone about it is like, get rid of everything basically, which I think everybody should consider doing because the amount of processed things that we're taking in, not just foods, but drinks and alcohol or whatever, your Powerades, Gatorades, you got to reduce that back down and kind of freshen up your life and then figure out kind of one thing at a time. I track everything very seriously. Even when I was being very serious 4 months ago, my diet wasn't as dialed as it is now, but let's just say 4 months ago, I was drinking 24 ounces of coffee a day, sometimes 36 if I want to go get another one. And I noticed my sleep and my recovery, like I'd get good sleep, but like my HRV was horrible. I just wasn't getting like the optimal sleep. Once in a while I would randomly. Now I'm getting like optimal sleep basically every night. There's like a one-off here or there that like something happened and then I have to figure out why. But I think that caffeine was a big disruptor for me. Just letting everything settle at night. The half-life of caffeine is, I don't know, whatever I said, 8 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So again, 200 milligrams of caffeine at noon, 8 o'clock, you still have 100 milligrams of caffeine in you, right? Or whatever that is. So I think by reducing everything and then kind of slowly adding back in, you can really figure out what your body works good on. But right now we're just in this like train wreck of, well, I had the energy drink and I had the sugar and I had the processed food. And there's so many bad things we're putting in our body every single day that go back to whole foods, simplify things, just drink water, do like a 30-day cleanse of your system, go whole foods, go water, don't drink alcohol, don't drink any energy drinks or caffeine, see how you feel. If you're a caffeine addict, the first 2-3 weeks is going to suck. More or less because you're just going to feel tired. That's how it felt for me. I didn't feel like I needed the caffeine. I just felt like I could use a nap at 10:30. Like I was like, I just got like not brain fog, but just like when you feel like you need to take a nap and you're like, 20 minutes would make me feel way better. I'd just be way more awake. That's all I had for the first 2 or 3 weeks. I could still get work done. I was still focused. I had energy. And now I've had no caffeine for damn near 3 months and I feel fantastic. And my sleep has gone through the roof. And I think a lot of people would find that hard to believe, but without the caffeine, that is like one of the number one game changers that I've done lately that has changed a lot. So
I think you look at that habit wise too. Like if there's something you're really trying to kick, whatever that may be for you, again, like you said, you can completely drop it. It's like, do you notice anything day to day where you're just like, I literally can't like go without this? Like, for example, you said like the energy drink thing, like I used to always, you could ask friends too, like I'd always go and get something from Quick Trip. And it's like, if you just don't do it, and if you really like, is there noticeable or like sizable change like day to day, or like everything's just thrown off? Obviously, you gotta get past like the weaning off phase, like in the first couple of days, couple of weeks. But like realistically, if you can get through a month and it's like nothing's necessarily different, you can still live your life.
yeah,
It's probably better. Then you don't need to do that, obviously. And that can go for anything, like you said, if you have addictions or vices, like you said.
I think a lot of the addictions too is like I was a nicotine guy too, and I haven't done nicotine at all yet this year. I'm not going to do it this year. I haven't done it since last year at all. So a lot of those things though, like is a flavor aspect. Your soda is the way that your tongue feels. Nicotine pouch is the way that taste. It's something that your mouth is doing. Gum, I don't do gum anymore either. I just don't need to. Of the sugars and stuff, I don't need it. The added sugars. So that's like how much I've cut out. But I think it's not like I need caffeine. It's like I need that canned drink. I need the mental aspect of cracking it, the coldness, the bubbles in my tongue, the taste, like all of those other things. It's not even the caffeine. You're not addicted to the 300 milligrams of caffeine. You think you are because you're like, well, that's what I'm used to. That's what I need. You don't need 300 milligrams of caffeine. You just don't. But you want everything else that comes with it. You want all the flavor. You want all the bubbles. You want, whatever it is. So once you can get past that and realize that it's not the actual, I need caffeine. You need everything else with it. You want the bubbler because it's got the bubbles. You want the Rain energy drink or the Bang or whatever energy drink you're into because of all of that, the flavor, the taste, the feel, the mental aspect. So I've just swapped all of those things out. I've gotten rid of them out of my life. I don't see them. Like you said, atomic habits, make the things like uninteresting, unattractive, get them out of sight, out of mind, and just replace them with things. Now I carry around this Yeti, and now every time I'm bored or my mouth is dry or whatever, I just grab a little swig of water and it's flavored and it's great. So I was using gum as a way to get around the nicotine as well, the nicotine pouches. And then I just was kind of like, you know what, gum has all these added sugar alcohols and these other things in there. Like, I just don't think it's good for me either. So I've cut gum out, So anyways, I could probably ramble about habits again and kind of all that stuff, but I know Chase has got to get going here. So thanks for tuning in. Go ahead.
Went from BFS to prebiotics to meaning of life and what people matter for you to habit.
To nicotine and caffeine. So we're just kind of, again, trying to get a flow here, guys. We're trying to figure out what our jive is, how this podcast is going to work. We're going to try to start doing 5 to 10 minutes of just our life and what's happening, kind of updates with the gyms or that kind of stuff. So that's why I was asking all these questions this morning. That's how I wanted the beginning of the episode to go. I wanted you guys to understand what's happening in our lives and, again, what's happening in the gyms, or maybe we're doing a big install. So I'm going to try to keep you guys informed on that because I think people just like listening to what's happening in our lives as well. If you can, share the episodes, tell your friends and family to check them out. Hopefully you guys are getting some valuable information from this. I really do appreciate any and all of you who do come up to me or shoot me a message saying how much, just the little things, the habits that you guys are creating, the intel or the information that you're understanding, creatine, probiotics, prebiotics, right? I love hearing those stories. So if you guys can tell me things that you've changed in your life, things that you have questions on, whatever it is, let me know. My name's Colton Burt. Snapchat is colton.burt, COLTON.BURT. Instagram, Facebook, coltonburt19. Email is marketing@fitnessgrizzly. I'll throw it to Chase, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
If you're looking for me on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, wherever the case may be, it's just Chase Mastricola, ChaseMastricola. Go out, kill the week here for you, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you.